There's a significant triangle encoded in Ben Jonson's introductory poem in the first folio published in 1623. In the documentary Cracking the Shakespeare Code, Peter Amundsen geometrically dissected this poem to reveal the Freemasonic logo. So let's briefly go over how he did that. First, he identified all the W's in the text. He connected the 4 inline W's on the left in a descending line toward the center. Then he connected this line to the W on the right. He used a square to place 2 lines at a 90-degree angle on top. This forms an upside-down logo of Freemasonry. We can draw a line down the center of this shape. This line becomes the mies, the exact middle of the logo. It's not the exact center line of the poem, that line is here in blue. But the red line centered in the logo provides a boundary to the encoded triangle we're looking for. Notice that in the first line of the poem, this red line cuts the letter O in 2, exactly in half. The position of this letter is a clue that we need to look for more O's, and sure enough, we find 3 double O's on the right side of the poem. The gematria value for O in 1623 was 14, so 3 O's held a value of 42, a number that keeps cropping up in research on the twice 11 brethren. 42 appears prominently in the logo of Freemasonry also, constructed of 6 by 7 units of measure. And the value of these O's in the introductory poem indicates that they should be looked at more closely. I began my research here by connecting the O's with 2 lines. Each line had an angle of 111 degrees, a triple-digit frequency generated in the harmonic series by the 37th harmonic, a number also significant to Freemason geometry. Then I looked for another O and found one on the far left, to which I could connect a line. From there, one more line completed a large triangle. But this isn't the triangle. To find that one, we need to use this red line of mies in the Freemasonic logo. If you drop a line down from the large triangle's apex to form a 90-degree angle at the base, this line intersects the red mies line exactly. This is the triangle we're looking for. Measuring its angles, we find that in addition to its 90-degree right angle, it contains angles of 46 and 44 degrees. The poem instructs us to now cut these values by 2, another mies division. The resulting numbers are 22 and 23. What's the significance of 22 and 23? In my book, The Next Octave, I talk about a discrepancy in equally tempered music that involves the 22nd and 23rd harmonics. This is a discrepancy that I discovered from a metaphorical cipher in Francis Bacon's New Atlantis. He points us to the 23rd harmonic when he uses the ratio of 51 to 17. 51 men on board the ship that's arrived on the island of New Atlantis, 17 of whom are sick or not whole. We know that the 22nd harmonic is an octave repeat of the tritone, but what exactly is the 23rd harmonic? A half mean? The 23rd harmonic is one of 16 notes in the chromatic scale produced in the harmonic series between harmonics 16 and 32. However, traditional music only recognizes 12 notes in the chromatic scale. The 4 extra notes are shown here, labeled as W, X, Y, and Z. I write about this in the 13th chapter of my book, which is entitled An Alchemical Wedding of Tones. In order to hear these tones, I've scaled up the harmonic frequencies of the C16 scale to a range that's audible. For example, the first C tone is at 512 Hz, but it correlates here to the 16th harmonic. To gain a sense of this 16-note chromatic scale, please listen for yourself. Here, I've calculated 2 musical scales using the equally tempered middle C frequency of 261.63 Hz. If you're unfamiliar with equal temperament tuning, please see my book, The Next Octave. A link is in the video description. On the left is the scale the harmonic series would build off this equally tempered frequency of C. This scale has a total of 16 notes. On the right is how the scale is actually built, using equal temperament tuning. This scale has a total of 12 notes. These 2 scales start and end on the same notes, but produce very different intervals in between. The harmonic series builds a scale with the same identical interval between each note, in this case 16.35 Hz. But equal temperament tuning increases the note intervals at a steady rate, from 15 Hz at the start of the scale to about 30 Hz at the end. The tempered scale ends where the harmonic scale ends because its use of ever-increasing intervals makes up for the fact that this scale uses 4 fewer notes than the harmonic scale. As we see here, the act of equally tempering music, which is really the act of deliberately mistuning music, puts the tritone of F sharp at 370 Hz, circled here in red. But the harmonic series would place the F sharp tritone at 360 Hz. That's 10 Hz below the equally tempered tritone, and it's a big difference, as you can hear for yourself. The tritone is considered the devil in music. This is because it's an extremely dissonant and unpleasant interval, as played here in Saint-Saëns' Danse Macabre. Is it possible that the interval between the tonic and the tritone is so dissonant because equal temperament tunes the tritone 10 Hz sharp? The naturally placed harmonic tritone is also dissonant, but it doesn't seem as dissonant as the equally tempered tritone, as we can hear in these comparisons. The frequency of the equally tempered tritone actually places it closer to the phantom note of W, just 6 Hz away. This may not seem important, but if the frequency of the tritone is closer to harmonic 23 than harmonic 22, then the tritone isn't a tritone at all. Remember, the tritone is called a tritone because of its interval with the tonic of 3 whole steps or 6 half steps. But the equally tempered tritone is comprised of almost 7 half steps. It's certainly not 6. And that means the equally tempered tritone isn't a tritone at all. This is the real reason we have an interval we call the devil in music. Francis Bacon pointed out this conspiracy in music in several texts, including New Atlantis and King Lear, just to name 2. And here, in the introductory poem of the first folio, there seems to be another encoded message about this conspiracy involving the 22nd and 23rd harmonics. A conspiracy that may have resulted in the twice 11 brethren supporting harmonic 22, twice 11, as the natural tritone. I'm grateful for any feedback. Please leave your thoughts in the comments, and thank you for watching.